Well, hello. It is morning. It is Wednesday, the 24th, and welcome back to another midweek devotional. I'll go over a little bit of what we talked about on Monday. We talked about our spiritual demolition and how that building coming down is very precise, and we're bringing in the new while kicking out the old. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about pain, really. So just like we watched on Monday, that building coming down with all those explosions. Oftentimes, the Lord uses painful trials or things that seem like they're not so great as part of the sanctification process in our lives. And if you guys don't know what sanctification means, that's basically the pursuit of making, or sanctification is making something holy. So it's always important to be on that road to sanctification. And sanctification comes through accepting Jesus' sacrifice for us. But that controlled demolition, when we're going through a series of trials, the building is exploding, and your heart is just going nuts, right? Billows of dust. You saw so much chaos after that building coming down, right? There's dust. There's kind of looks like there's pieces flying everywhere. It's painful. It's frightening, and you might wonder, like, why is this happening? And like, is there going to be anything left when this is done? Even though it might seem like it's painful, the Lord is using these trials, this ache to implode the walls, the barriers you put up in your heart. And like I said on Monday, it's strategic, it's precise, and it's purposeful. The process might seem painful, confusing, frightening from our point of view, right? There's explosions going off every way, or everywhere, every way. Who knows what the trials are you face in your life. It might be frightening, but God really does have a beautiful way of destroying the old, bringing down those strongholds, those walls, those barriers, without harming the new, and even creating an environment that is nurturing, growing, strengthening, and establishing us in the process. Almost like a controlled burn of a forest. The forest in this rage of a fire burns down, and what's left is incredibly nutrient-dense soil. It's like that tree planting. The best places we can plant, where they say you need to have your perfect trees, perfect density, is burns. So basically they have these, depending on the block, that's where you plant the trees. There's these giant spaces, or sometimes they're small, where they have piled the slash, which is all the trees that they don't take for lumber, and they burn it. And it leaves this giant ashy pit that is full of nutrients, absorbs water really well, and it's very, very, very nurturing for the trees. So out of that chaos, out of that dense forest, that burn, the slash pile, comes this incredibly rich and nourishing environment for those trees. So even if we're in the middle of healing from destruction, we can still rejoice over the new that God is building in our lives. So I'll read you guys some verses from Hebrews and 1 Peter here. Hebrews 12, 7 to 11. And that says, it is for discipline that you have to endure. God is treating you as sons, for what son is there whom his father does not discipline? If you were left without discipline, in which all have participated, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. Besides this, we've had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them. Shall we not much more be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For they disciplined us for a short time as it seemed best to them, but he disciplines us for our good, that we may share his holiness. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who've been trained by it. Yeah, so right off the bat, we've got those big points there. In verse 9, besides this, we've had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them. Shall we not much more be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For they disciplined us for a short time as it seemed best to them, but he disciplined us for our good, that we may share his holiness. So there we have that sanctification, right? So it may seem that discipline, right? When you see discipline almost always means bad news, right? Jacob Douglas, Michael Moffat, you come here right now. Don't you speak to your mother like that, right? I'm in the wrong. And it may seem you're angry, you're frustrated, but that discipline is for the better, to grow yourself and to grow in that sanctification, right? That we may share his holiness. So it may seem painful rather than pleasant, but it later yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. And then I've got 1 Peter 5, 10 and 11. And after you've suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who has called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. To him be the dominion forever and ever. Amen. And God is bringing in that new. You're a little tree getting planted in a burn pile. You're a wonderful new building getting built out of the dust. The strongholds have been knocked down, and you are being redeemed through him who restores. So today I want to challenge you guys to sit in that dust, those strongholds that have been knocked down, those walls that are getting put to the ground, the fires, the forests that are being burned. Notice that, sit in that, and realize that that pain is all for good. And God has that holy and divine plan for you. So I'll catch you guys on Friday when we go over the last little bit of our devotion here. And we'll see you guys then.